Here are a few definitions that might help you when you're picking out your chicken at the market. A broiler fryer is a young, tender chicken about 7 weeks old that weighs 2.5 to 4.5 pounds. A rock garnish game hen is a small broiler fryer weighing between 1 and 2 pounds. A roaster is an older chicken about 3 to 5 months old that weighs 5 to 7 pounds. It yields more meat per pound than a broiler fryer, and they're usually roasted whole. A capon is a male chicken about 16 weeks to 8 months old that's been clipped. They weigh about 4 to 7 pounds and have a lot of tender light meat. Usually smothering is the best for these birds. A stewing bacon hen is a mature laying hen. She's about 10 months to 1.5 years old. The meat is less tender than young chickens. Here are some rules to follow when handling chicken. At home, immediately place chicken in a refrigerator or use it within 1 or 2 days, or freeze the chicken. If you keep it frozen continuously, chicken will be safe indefinitely. Chicken may be frozen in its original packaging, or you can repackage it. If you get a great buy and plan to freeze chicken longer than 2 months, overwrap the porous store plastic packages with some airtight heavy-duty foil, some plastic wrap, or freezer paper. You can always use these materials or airtight freezer containers to repackage family packs into smaller amounts or freeze the chicken from open packages. The USDA suggests 3 ways to defrost chicken. First, in the refrigerator. Second, in cold water. And last, in a microwave. Never defrost chicken on the counter or in other locations. It's best to plan ahead for slow, safe thawing in the refrigerator. Boneless chicken breasts will usually defrost overnight. Bone-in parts and whole chickens may take 1 to 2 days or longer. Once the raw chicken defrosts, it can be kept in the refrigerator an additional day or 2, of course, before cooking. During this time, if chicken defrosted in the refrigerator is not used, it can safely be refrozen without cooking first. Chicken may be defrosted in cold water in its airtight packaging or in a leak-proof bag. Submerge the bird or cut up parts in cold water, changing the water every 30 minutes to be sure that it stays cold. A whole 3 to 4 pounds, of course, broiler fryer or package of parts should defrost in 2 to 3 hours. A 1 pound package of boneless breasts will defrost in an hour or less. Chicken defrosted in the microwave should be cooked immediately after thawing because some areas of the food may become warm and begin to cook during microwaving. Now we've got this cooking, and it will cook just real slow for a couple hours because this is a pretty good sized chicken. And then I'll be fixing my peas while you go ride your horse and enjoy. Okay? Good. Now I'm going to show you what kind of peas I used to cook today. These are the black-eyed peas, and they're dry. But of course, you know if you don't have dried peas, you can use the canned ones. But I've left these soaking all night long. And see how they have doubled in size. You don't use the whole bag. One day I just was cooking peas and I soaked the whole bag, and the next day I had to get me a bigger pot. But this is the peas that have soaked all night. Now I do not drain my pea liqueur, so to speak. I keep it in the pot. I cook it with the peas, so you get that wonderful flavor of the real thing. So, okay, then add my onions to it. And you know, you add more onions, the better it tastes. So, okay. Now, the meat product for this, you can either use the ham, which I use the ham hock, I prefer that, or the bacon. If you don't have access to a ham hock, you can always use your sliced bacon, which you just throw in there just like this. Now, what I like to do is cut it up in smaller pieces, but this would be too large a piece to put in there. Or, I mean, you know, if you like your large pieces of bacon in there, that's okay too. Just Cajun cooking is just what you like, your preference. So now I'm going to put this beautiful ham hock in here. And of course, you stir it up a little bit, and it just flavors that, that pot of peas. It just adds to it, and it is so good. Make a complete meal with this. Of course, now what I season this with, out of my salt cellar, is, of course, the ham is already salty, so you don't want to add too much salt. Of course, I've got a pretty good sized pot of peas here. Okay. And pepper. Very good. Just the pepper. Notice how I season with my fingers, because it kind of, I don't know, I guess I just have a feel for seasoning, so to speak. All right. Now this is all that's necessary to put in your peas for them to be very tasty. Now what I have to do next is I'm going to cook these on a slow boil, very slow boil, for at least 2 to 3 hours, depends on how big your pot is. And then after they're real soft, you take your spoon and you sort of mash the side of the pot with your spoon like this, and that'll make the best thick gravy in those peas. They're hard right now, but when they get soft, they'll, well, here goes that word again, mush them on the side of the pot. So then I'm going to cover this, and I want to teach Lucy how to bake a wonderful sweet potato pie, which will go very well with the stew.